but I like to look at the daily and the weekly chart, kind of give you like multi-time frame thing. So this is Soundhound. So I've been, I don't know when you first mentioned it. I think you might have first mentioned it last fall-ish or summer or fall.
So
You might have mentioned it around here, like $4 or $5 maybe.
do it. Are there people on the call who have never heard of this or so
Yeah.
basically, yes?
If you want to do you want to tell them what you know about SoundHound
Yeah, just
before
to
we
give you an
talk
example.
about the charts?
They are automating and taking away service jobs. So for example, they have captured a lot of restaurants, like, well, they have all the White Castle. So when you're on the line to get your food in your car, you can interact with the Soundhound and it's all automated. And they have it very realistic, I want lettuce but no tomato, and you can go through all these combinations and it's incredibly flexible. The other thing you can do, you can use it to turn on your TV, uh, say play Netflix. It'll play Netflix, um, and you'll be watching and then say play this movie and it'll show you the movie. And then in the middle you'll say, okay, stop the movie, I want to order a pizza. And you're talking to your TV now. It's the future. So you order the pizza, it goes through, what do you want on it? I want this, I want that. I want half cheese, half double cheese, whatever. And then you order it and resume your movie. Um, it's also being put into like Hyundai cars for navigation. You talk to your car and it does what finds information from you on the internet. It's pretty amazing stuff. And I recommend, if you have just a few minutes, go to their website and play their videos as examples of what they do. It's SOUND, HOUND, Soundhound. And I call it, I don't know about you, Jen, I call it SOUN, SOUN. That's the symbol, the abbreviation. And so that's sort of a quick background. And I don't think they're profitable yet, but have revenue.
They're not profitable, but they actually have revenues. They generate on a quarterly basis, like 30 million a quarter. So they're running at like 120 million. So they do have revenues. Their revenues are growing at like 100% a year. So I mean, so you call this thing out. So I obviously I'm CFA. So my first thing is to look at their financials. So I did see that their revenues are growing at, and they're actually starting to accelerate this quarter. So that's why so that was one of the reasons that I thought I would take a flyer on it. I know it's a speculative stock. They don't have any they're losing money, but they're generating like big revenue growth. You have a little bit of risk when you buy these kind of stocks because they have if you look at their shares outstanding, because they're still a young company, they need to invest in their business. So they'll issue stock. If you buy a mature quality company like Microsoft or you'll see that they buy back their outstanding shares of stock. So their supply of stocks go down regularly every quarter or whatever they buy back at. But a young company like this will issue stock, and then when they issue stock, you'll every now and then you'll get like a hit. If they have they'll register 10 million share offering, or you'll see that on the news, and the thing will take a dive. So that's like the risk in these kind of things. But you've got 100 million, you've got basically running at 120, 100+% revenue growth. So I liked it, Ethan. I mean, I know you pick out a lot of these stocks that are not profitable, and they're kind of are very early stages, but they're kind of interesting to me. So that was why I picked it up, because I saw I saw their earnings report like back. I think it was a few weeks ago is when they had their earnings thing, if I'm not mistaken.
So what did you get it at?
I bought it at like at 10:30 something. So I bought it yesterday. So I got it at like it was like 10:34 or something like that. and then
I got
it
it
went down
yesterday at
today.
10:27, and it closed at 10:27.
Well, and then today, I think it went down today.
Yeah, it looks like I'm just looking now because I haven't had a chance to look now. And it closed at 9.97, down 30 cents. So, all right, I'm down a little bit. I don't know
Yeah,
about you,
it's
I bought 1,000 shares. So that's what I bought.
oh, I didn't buy that much up front. I decided I was gonna leg into it, so I'm gonna buy 1,000 shares for the next month, a week, 1,000 shares a week for the next month. So I've only got 1,000 shares. So I'll probably buy another 1,000 shares next week or later this week or something
Oh,
like
that's what
that.
I have, 1,000 shares.
Oh, you have 1,000? Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you said you had 5,000 shares.
I don't know,
Ultimately, I want to get to about 5,000 shares, but
1,000.
that's all I bought was just a
But my
thousand.
target is 11.28. I just want to make $1,000.
That's your target up here. It's 1128.
All right.
Yeah, my target is I want to hold it to like 15. This is I'm looking at a weekly, so my target is like 15, and I'm willing to hold it for months or because to me this is like months or even longer, but at the very least months because I'm confident about because they're generating good revenue, solid revenue growth.
So tell
So
us, what do you see in the chart, and anyone else jump in? So a few of you mentioned you're technical traders. What do you all see? We want to do the group think here, which
yeah,
makes us unique on the internet. No one else is doing this. So, um, I know Carl and Rob are not here, but um, I usually substitute their TA for mine. But what do you all see technically? Anyone want to jump in or? Well,
Well,
you,
Ethan, I just had an initial question, if that's all right. I wanted to ask for you and John if you guys like this for as short-term plays, or if you guys believe this has some stronger tailwinds in the next 6 to 12 months that you like it more as a longer-term kind of play on that front.
I mean, I like it as a longer term. I will hold it for probably 6 months. I'll hold it for I think I'll get it to like 15. So if it does it in a couple months, I might sell it in a couple months. But if I'm fine holding it for 6 months or a year or whatever it takes. I don't
What
know
time
about
frame is this right now, the chart?
excuse me.
What time frame is this chart right now?
This one here we're
Oh,
looking at.
yeah.
This is a daily
Yeah.
chart. This
Okay,
one
because
here
I'm not
is a
used to
weekly chart.
this platform stock charts. So yeah,
Yeah.
from what I see on a technical analysis, it's creating higher highs. Obviously buyers are in control of the market. It's more bullish. It made its retracement to previous resistances as well. So there could be a bit of buy pressure from that point in a more swing position. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna take months, because if this is a daily chart, it could be, I don't know, a couple of weeks. It really depends on the volume of the market until it hits its next like sell level. So yeah, it could have some buy pressure where it's at right now, but you can never tell how long it will take until it hits, like the sell level basically. It really depends on the volume.
yeah, very
Out
good.
of curiosity, how do you decide like you want to sell at 11.45 or $15? How do you determine? I mean, what's the logic behind the 15 or 11.40?
Well, I'll speak. This is mine. On a weekly chart, I've got these pivot points. So I've got a major pivot point at 1574. So this is on the weekly chart, and then I have this is my target. I mean, conceivably, it could run even higher. So I could very well sell it here, and then it could keep on running higher. But I picked a point, and this is where I decided I wanted to get out around 15. I think Ethan was looking at more. Ethan, you said you wanted like 11 something. You just want 1,000, right?
Right.
So you'll probably get that pretty soon.
I hope. but I like the company. I was in on it early. I made money, then it took off. I sold too soon, but oh well. But I did make a profit. And then, it's been sort of tricky for the last year. So I'm just sort of waiting to, that's why I finally was looking at it yesterday, and it just, I don't know, like I said, it seems to be making higher highs, and I think it can come back up. I mean, I don't think it can come back to 24, and has good volume. So
It's starting to pick up. The volume looks like right here.
yeah, so that's why I think, and it's a good company, and I believe NVIDIA is invested in them.
Well, I think NVIDIA had invested it in the past, and then I think NVIDIA, they got rid of their investments, and it's not nothing wrong with the company. They just got rid of their stock, or what. And I think this is what it was. They got crushed back in February when
Right.
there was news about NVIDIA getting out of the Soundhound holdings.
Yeah. No, that's correct. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then this is
a quick look at the chart. The chart looks very good technically in the long term. I don't think the downside can go below $9. That's probably a resistance in the near couple days, and then it's going to shoot up. I think, John, you're right. The first resistance is 15, but then it can go all the way up to 2022.
Yeah, it could, but yeah. But the other thing too, what I wanted to point out, like when you see this big bar up here, this is on May 12th. This is after their earnings release. So they've been kind of like sucking wind, kind of struggling sideways, not doing anything for several months. Like after the NVIDIA getting out of their holdings, and then when they released their earnings, the 150% increase in this one right here, 150% increase in their revenue. Year over year, and that's the spike up. So I saw the spike up, and I wanted to see a pullback before I got into it. So that's why I got in yesterday. I guess ideally today would have been better in hindsight, but I got in yesterday, and I guess Ethan and I got in basically more or less at the same time.
All right. See, I see the spike up was what day?
It was May 12th. That was their earnings. That was their earnings release.
Yeah, they went up like 22% the 3 days after their earnings on May 8th. Yeah. But that was an anomaly for that. I can do event study on all their earnings, and they hadn't typically been doing good leading up to this one. It doesn't, on average, their earnings events don't look that great.
Yeah, no, I mean they're not, like we said, they're not making money, but their earnings are accelerating, so that or their revenues are accelerating. So they do have like Ethan was saying, they're in a lot of cars, and I don't know what else, whatever, and the restaurants, like the drive-throughs and stuff like that. So there's a speculative small company, but they actually do have a product that's making sales. And
yeah, I will mention this. When I look at the chart, and again, this is me, I'm not the best at technical analysis. I'm not being self-deprecating. I'm just being honest. It's not my strong suit like a lot of you. But when I look at the chart, see, it seems to me it went up on earnings, and now it's been knocked down a little bit. But I see it, I interpret that to mean that they knocked it down so they can now get in if they're not in, and then they'll bring it back up. I could be wrong, but that's what I think's going on this one.
that's what I think. That's what I think so too. Is they like to jerk it down so they can get the big institutional buying in.
Right, right. Because the volume, again, if you look at the volume, average volume 30,720,000, 30,720,000, and today 29,690,000. 29,690,000. So almost hit average volume. That's a lot of volume. I mean, I just have a good feeling about it.